Have you, have you ever heard the saying, coming together is the beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is success? Well, I've come here today to tell you a story about that. This happened long time ago in a place somewhere in Trinidad. It was a time when there was no technology and farmers and gardeners had to rely on rituals and superstitions handed down to them by their foreparents to ensure a good harvest. These superstitions were based on natural elements such as the soil, trees, animals, and the sky. They did this because their livelihood depended on it, and because they also had to provide enough to feed the people in their community, foods that would make them grow healthy and strong. The crops were kept safe from birds and other animals because farmers believed that placing scarecrows in their gardens would keep away birds and other animals from eating or disturbing the crops and seeds. Everything was good, everything nice and hunky-dory. Plenty food, animals happy, people happy, except we, the scarecrows. After a while, we got tired because while everyone was tucked away in their nice warm beds, we had to be alone in the fields, exposed to these elements. We hadn't get tired from being outstretched all day and night. But after a while, everything turned upside down and things changed. The birds started to get smart, and they started to perch on the outstretched arms and even eat the crops. They even left their droppings on us to say, "We were here." And like the farmers couldn't predict the weather anymore because the weather went crazy. Because there was too much rain, then too little rain, then too much hot sun, which was not good for the crops. The farmers couldn't understand what was happening, so they held a meeting, and one of them decided to pay a visit to Papa Boa, deep in the forest. Well, you know, Papa Boa is the protector of animals and other predators. The farmer said, "Good morning, Papa Boa. We, the farmers of the village, are experiencing something catastrophic. Our crops are being destroyed by something evil. We plant in good time according to the moon, and we plant from north to south. We even look at the cows in the pasture to see if they lie down. And then we know we're getting early rain, but we're still getting licks." Papa Boa looked at the farmer and pulled on his long bushy beard and said, "Why you come to me? All you're putting things from preventing my birds and other animals from eating. Look now, go and get help from somebody else, because I'm only looking out for my animals." So feeling dejected, the farmer walked back to the village to tell them the bad news. Then somebody shouted, "Let we go to Tobago to meet old Ganga Sarah, that powerful woman who flew from Africa and landed in Tobago." So the farmers decided to head to Tobago to meet Ganga Sarah. However, when they reached Tobago and told her about their problems, she told them how she couldn't help them right now because she had problems of her own. So sad and frustrated, the farmers went back to Trinidad, stressed and ready to give up. But something told them to keep on trying. After a week or so, by some miracle, a group of persons came to the village because apparently they heard about the farmers' demise and they came to keep a meeting with them. Although they started to use some weird names of things that the farmers were not quite familiar with. They said something about surfing the net for ideas about farming. Then one farmer jumped up and said, "Where I live in ain't have no sea, so where are your net? And to make matters worse, if I try to surf in the net, I get tangled up in it, because there's only a surfboard to surf." He was then made to know that it was a technological tool called the internet where you can search for ideas about farming. They also told him that they did not have to stop their rituals and superstitions, but to embrace new ones. Some of the farmers went back home happy, although some were more confused than ever. Meanwhile, the food crisis got worse. Some of the farmers had already given up. But this is when the villagers thought it was time for action. They went out to seek the group of persons who came to the village, and when they spotted them, they told them about what was going on. And the group of persons did come back But this time, they came prepared. They bought booklets, showed films, and even brought farmers who had embraced the new technology and experienced great results. The village farmers were in awe, but still a bit apprehensive, since they were old farmers, and they were stuck on to their rituals and superstitions. But the villagers were not about to give up. They helped the farmers with the technology and even showed them new techniques that they can use for the rainwater for their crops. After a while, the village went back to normal, or even better. They no longer needed us scarecrows to deter birds as modern methods did that, and they were able to produce a much more abundant supply of food that was able to feed their community and other villages too. In other words, the market was profitable, the food was healthy, and the community was happy once again.